I think today we have a slightly lower participation. Yeah, so the overview of the last session, it is already put up on YouTube. You can go through the video if you've not attended the last session. We've majorly discussed the geopolitics, the impact of oil as a sector, the impact it has on an Indian economy perspective, the inflation, the dollar rate which is going up, and how oil is going to play a role in that particular scenario, and how it is going to affect Indian economy. This session today we are going to discuss about the relative rotation first. That is basically one of the indicators is the RRG charts, that is the relative rotation graph charts, which Archit is going to explain us in detail. It will help us analyze that even in a market which is correcting, how we find sectors which do better, and how the money flows from one sector to another. We've discussed this in multiple sessions before, but today we are going to discuss it from the very basics and discuss it at length. And then we will add on with Ayush bhai's expertise. We are going to add on his like what is the macro and how the macro view guides the RRG, and how correlation of both the macroeconomics plus the sectoral rotation can help us have the edge to make money even in a market which is not conducive per se, and where most of the stocks are falling. How you can be in the right sector and the right stock. So it's all about picking the right sector, right stock. That's what we are going to discuss today. So I'll hand over the session to Archit to start with his RRG slides.
Yeah,
Archit,
sure.
you can take over.
So good morning, everyone. So in the last few sessions of I think so, the last inner circle session we discussed about macros. Um, I think so. Most of y'all have joined the technical analysis that we teach around. So we learned about the trends. After that, we learned about the support and the resistance. So one of the things that people usually ask and have difficulty is with why like all the stocks are moving, but why my stock is not moving at all. Like so the answer that comes along is that like there should be relative strength in your stock. Yeah, like your stock should be leading a particular sector, or your stock should be outperforming the uh, like the other stocks in that particular index, or the the benchmark itself. So for that, to understand where the relative outperformance is, there are some tools that we can explore about. But the basic thing is that if the index is falling 2% or 3% within a particular day itself, and your stock falls just 0.5%, or if the stock is up 1%, what does it usually signify? So the answer to this question is that if the index, like if the Nifty is falling 1% to the downside, and if your stock is like say flat or even 1% to the upside, it means that even the broader market is falling down. The buyers and the sellers in your like the buyers in your stocks, they are willing to still buy that particular security. So that shows the relative strength against a particular index itself. So this is the basic concept of relative strength. So one of the example that you can just like the concept is very simple. You can just plot like what you have to do. Uh, just give me a second. Yeah, just go on Trading View, and here, as most of the people are invested in a like mid cap stocks. So you go to the mid cap stocks, like the index of midcap on the daily chart, and you decide any stock is uh, which is in your watch list, and let's try comparing the relative strength of that particular, or at least understanding how the relative strength works. So just give me a second. I'll remove the volume. Yeah, and this is the daily chart as well. 24 June. Okay. So as you can see, I'm going on the day where the Nifty 100 mid cap index, okay, the Nifty 100 mid cap index had corrected, say around the correction started from 22nd July. The index went around 2.5% down from 22nd till 23rd July as well. And I had Diamond Power in my watch list, uh, and as you can see, the price action over here from 22nd to 23rd July was around, like, at least the stock was like, even though the mid cap index went 2.5% to the downside, till 20 like till 26 till 24th July, the index had went around 3.5% to the downside. But if you compare how the price action of Diamond Power reacted during that particular time, was from 22nd to 24th, the stock was up around 17 to 18%. So basically, this is how you have to check the relative strength of a particular stock, where you compare that particular stock with a particular index as such, and you compare the price action, like you compare the performance, the relative performance as compared to an index. So this was the first signal that even though the index was falling down, the sellers were not aggressive in this particular stock. The buyers were still holding that particular level as such, and the sellers were not able to bring the price to the downside. So in the end, we want to be we want to be associated with that in these stocks only, where the buying interest is high and the sellers have lower interest to sell. So comparing the relative strength, this is just one way on how to go about it. What we can do is, I'll just go through a couple of few examples where we see, just give me a second. Yeah. Where we compare the relative performance of how in the from 22nd to 23rd July, where the mid cap index went to the downside, how the other stocks had reacted during that particular time. So in this case, where the correction which started in in the markets from 22nd to 24th July, the index had corrected 3.5%. As you can see, DV's lab had corrected, I think so, just around 3% as such. So do you call this also as a relative performance? Um, the answer is yes, because the index had fallen, like the mid cap index had fallen around 3.5%, where the stock just managed to fall 3%. So that is also relative performance against a particular index. And the most important part is that when the markets are falling, these stocks which have high relative strength, they would not move to the upside. But I would request everyone to just be on mute. Mm,
Unmuted, Amir.
yeah. So the important part is that during when the markets fall, we just check the relative strength, like which stocks are holding up and they are doing outperformance. And when the market starts moving to the upside, these will be the first stocks that keep moving to the upside. So as you can see, like the index recovered from these particular the lows of 60,000, but DV Slab has already given a return of like around 10% in a very short period of time. So this is how understanding relative strength is important. And then people keep on asking us why your stocks are not moving to the upside. So you have to check the relative strength of each and every stock against a particular index. So this is the most manual way to do around it. But there are different tools available in the market, which we'll come on to it. And the tool for this particular, the relative strength index, is called as a RRG, that is called as a relative rotational graphs. Uh, I just want to ask, does anyone have any doubt? Uh, does anyone understand, like, have any doubt regarding the relative strength? What is relative strength and how to go about it?
Archit, can you just look at against mid cap? Can you just add data patterns one? So we'll also understand why, sometimes it can be used even to identify stocks which are weak. Like even stocks which have, even when the index has gone up, when the stock has not gone up. And,
Yeah,
so it can also help us identify stocks which are laggards and eliminate them from your portfolio so that, you are in a better place. Uh, so that is also another, like, just an
sure.
Same logic, what Archit explained, that the index fell, but the stock did not fall that much. And when the index recovers, the stock recovers much more. So it moves much more. So it's called outperformance. Similarly, you can use RRG, or you can use relative analysis, relative strength analysis, to also identify stocks which are weak. So we can look at a couple of examples for those particular stocks also.
Sure. So in the case of patterns, as you asked, we are looking at the daily chart itself. So we have to compare it on a day-to-day basis. So if we compare, we are comparing from 22nd July to 24th July. We'll come here as well from 22nd to 24th July only. So yeah. So basically, in the case of data patterns, what it is showing is that how the index is reacting, the stock is reacting similarly only. There is no
Okay.
outperformance in the market. Like there is no outperformance or underperformance. It is performing with the market itself. So the only drawback of the relative strength, the comparing the relative strength on the chartical basis on a manual basis is just that you will just understand whether the stock is underperforming, outperforming, or is at par performance. To understand why the stock is like losing the momentum, or why the stock is particularly lagging, the answer comes along is the relative rotational graphs, where we understand how the stock moves. So I think so I will be covering this in the next few minutes itself. Okay. uh, I just want to ask, does have everyone understood the concept of what is relative strength is? So if everyone has understood, if anyone has any doubt, you can just ask me. Okay, there is something in the chat. Okay. Okay, fine. So moving forward, so there is a tool called as a relative rotation graph. So there are two
I have a
axes.
doubt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Tell me.
Yes, Archit. So for me, biggest problem is operating the tool actually TradeView. I'm not able to use options like you are doing it.
So that is a different topic altogether. But like you have to keep on working on trading view to understand how to use the like I have a setup since 4 years, like where I am making the lines and the charts.
Yeah.
So
So maybe it needs some more training for I mean, for me especially to.
yes, yes, definitely. Uh, we can
So
connect
for trading
afterwards.
view, so it's a professional software. Most people in doing technical analysis are using trading view. But I'll tell you, even for me, I'm not able to use trading view as fluently, as efficiently as Archit uses, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
just I'm not as pro as Archit is on the charts and technicals. Same, I would believe even Ayush would agree to it, that we may know basics, but we are not as efficient as Archit. So we have an expert in our team. We are blessed to be have that kind of a advantage. But I'll give you one example. If you're not very efficient with trading view, on your mobile itself there is an app called NetDania. I use that. So that is quite similar to trading view. Of course, the data points are not as detailed as trading view, but for a broader analysis you can use the app. I will mention it in the chat box. So it's on your mobile, you can use it on the go, and it gives you enough data points to make a broader analysis. Then of course, trading view is something you need to put more time on. I think Archit has been doing it for the last 6 7 years now, so that's why he's that quick. Otherwise, I think yeah, I'll just drop the name
I
of the
yeah. I
application. You
go
can
to
download
screen.
that.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I go to screener. I am not able to use the control, so uh, I don't continue there and fall on Twitter messages and then select one and do the trading. So that's how I also met so many good people actually, and and it's been so. I want to get fluent in one of the software. That is my one of my goal as well. Uh,
So,
buying
like,
some.
there are multiple softwares available in the market for charts. TradingView is just that I use it for again, I've paid a version for that, but there are two, three other different softwares that I use to use charts. So it again depends on how like every software has a different uh, pros and cons. So you have to get you have to spend more time using each and every software, and then you'll get an pretty good understanding that which software suits you the best.
Yeah, yes, correct. I agree. Yes,
Okay.
totally agree.
Yeah. So with this relative strength, does anyone has any doubts, or we just move forward once? Okay. So the
Hello,
yeah,
could
sure.
you please maybe explain what is relative? Because I joined little late. Maybe uh, could you just in short summary type 1 or 2 minute could you spend on that, please?
So yeah. So
Thank
basically,
you.
for people who have just joined in, the relative strength, we were talking about what is relative strength, what relative strength is, and how does relative strength helps you in identifying the leaders and the laggers as such. So relative strength is basically like if the index falls like 2% to the downside and their stock doesn't fall for like it falls just 1%, that is called as a relative strength. Like this, your stock is outperforming a particular index as such. So uh, that shows that even the broader market they are falling. The sellers in their stocks are not that strong enough to pull the prices to the downside. So whenever the market recovers to the upside, those stocks which have high relative strength will start moving first, and they will explode in a very in a very vertical manner. So understanding because what happens is that most of the people they are holding 10 stocks, and then they keep on wondering that why they are out of 10, 9 stocks are not working. They are just in a sideways action, and just one stock is moving to the upside. Because over there, in the end, stock market is about uh, like uh, the buyers and the sellers. If more buyers are there in your particular stock, then the stock will start moving to the upside. If more sellers are there in your particular stock, the stock prices will come to the downside. So in the end, we use these tools to understand whether the strength of the buyers is higher in a particular script or not, or the strength of the seller is higher in a particular script or not. So relative strength just measures the strength of the buyers and the sellers against a particular index as such. Coming back over here, the RRG charts looks like this. There are four particular quadrants as such. The first is called as the green one is called as a leading quadrant. The yellow one is called as a weakening quadrant. The third is called as a lagging, and the fourth is called as a improving. So the stocks which are in the leading quadrant, it is called as they have the stronger relative strength, stronger momentum. They are established outperformers. The yellow ones, it is called as a weakening quadrant, where the relative strength is still there. Like the relative strength is still there. It is outperforming the market, but the momentum is fading away. The third is called as a lagging, where the stock loses a particular relative strength. The momentum also weakens, and they are called as a underperformers. And the fourth is called as the improving relative strength, where like uh, the stock the relative strength of a particular stock improves, the momentum starts turning up, and it is called as a early accumulation. So in the end, in stock market, no stock can move vertically to the upside. Each stock goes through a period of outperformance, then underperformance. After that, it would be at par performance, and again the cycle will keep on rotating. So every stock goes through this cycle where we will see like a rotation which is happening. Not necessary it has to rotate from all the four quadrants. What it can happen is that from leading it can go to weakening, from lagging it can again go to leading as such. But a visual representation will help you to understand where your stock is in a particular quadrant and what to expect from that particular stock itself. So this is how the RRG chart looks like. We'll just go to the theory. It is you don't have to uh, think much about it. Just have an understanding of what the particular axes are. So a relative rotation graph, it plots the relative strength against the relative momentum for a group of securities against a common benchmark. So every particular like a chart itself would be compared against a particular benchmark, say Nifty 500 or midcap 500. So depending on that, the chart is created. Uh, there are two axes. The JDK RS ratio, it measures which is the horizontal, it measures the relative strength trend. and there is a momentum, momentum axis, the vertical, which measures how fast that trend is changing. So these are the two axes. These are the particular theory that you have to just keep in mind. Uh, and and you have to just look into the leading, weakening, lagging, improving sector. So I don't think so. This theory is much more important over here. What is important is that we'll just go to a particular example of how relative strength works. So just give me a second. I'll give you a visual representation. So there are multiple tools which are available for relative strength, and one of the tool is Stock Mojo. I guess we can see for free in Stock Mojo RRG. So this is how a relative strength index usually looks like. So as you can see, uh, from the particular chart itself, we have this is the relative strength index. The benchmark is Nifty 50, and we have selected all the sectors. So according to the according to the graph, we can see over here what we can comprehend is that the IT sector currently it is in momentum, it is improving, and the the IT index is moving into like the relative strength is improving, and the momentum is improving as well. So there is a higher probability that you should put your money in IT because the overall the index is outperforming the Nifty 50 index. And many people have asked me why the defense is like the defense stocks are not moving to the upside. The answer to the question is where your particular index is there as compared to the Nifty 50 index. So as you can see, the indices which are going into like which are underperforming and which are currently like consolidating are the particularly the metal index, energy index, commodities, FMCG, oil and gas. The sectors which are good are the reality sector, IT sector, consumer like the durable sector. What else we can see is that the Bank Nifty and the Fin Nifty, they are also in the leading sector, but they are the direction is pointing to the downside. So what you have to understand in the RRG chart is that you just look at a particular index, you select a group of stocks in your particular index, and you just check where the particular in which quadrant your particular stock or index is in. And the second thing that is important is the particular direction in which the stock is moving, or the stock or a particular group of stocks are moving. So overall, if you see every stock, like every line is created by there is one single particular line and there is one particular big dot to the upside. So the stocks which are improving and are in momentum would be trending to the upside. You can see the slope is trending to the upside, and you ideally would want to be associated in that particular sector because that sector is gaining strength and it is trending to the upside. The second thing, what you can see over here is the reality sector. The reality sector is still in a leading sector, but it is losing a particular momentum. So, Darshan, to answer your question, why data patterns was not performing well against a particular index is that overall the defense sector, if you see as such, from leading sector, it has turned to a the no like just give me a second. Yeah. Yeah. From the leading sector, the defense has went to a weakening sector. So that is why the momentum has shifted. And if you had seen this particular chart itself, or if you have understood where the particular index is in a particular quadrant, you understand where the outperformance would be, where the underperformance would be, and where the stocks would be consolidating. So that would help you in chasing a particular breakout as well. So this is just in short that I have made you all understand on how the RRG charts are There is much more this is a very big topic as such, but I hope everyone has understood the gist why we use relative strength and how using relative strength will help you identifying opportunities which can do a particular outperformance in a particular market, and which can help you in getting a quick returns in a short period of time. So, does anyone has any doubt regarding this thing on RRG charts or understanding the concept of relative strength? Just unmute yourself.
Hi.
Yeah,
How
hi.
frequently we need to check this chart because the chart get changes over the period of time, maybe daily, weekly,
Right.
fortnightly. So how we identify a person, like have to check it on like a weekly basis also, like
Again,
question
it
will.
depends upon your investment horizon. So if you're looking, if I'm a trader as such, so I would be looking on a daily perspective where the particular index is, or what is the how which sectors are coming into momentum. So as you can see over here, I'm just looking on the on 22nd July or 23rd July. Uh, like on a daily perspective, I understand how the particular stock index is performing. But and if you are an investor, I would suggest you to go on a weekly chart and and track it on a month-to-month basis. So depending upon your investment horizon, you can keep on reviewing it. But I would suggest if you are a beginner, try to do it on a weekly chart. It's weekly chart, and try to do it every week. Like try to look at this particular chart, this thing every week itself, so that you have an understanding like which sectors are performing and which sectors are not.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Anyone else has any doubts regarding this thing?
Yeah, Archit.
Yes.
So there are four quadrants here. If we just look at the movement of that particular stock, I mean the direction from starting till the end, it
Yeah.
can be different in different. So even if it is in the weakening zone, like in the fourth quadrant, but the direction is similar to like somewhat like an improving. So what does
Yeah.
it represent? Like, is it a good stock to enter?
So basically, what does this implement is that first of all, the if you see the straight line, it is called as the momentum. This is the momentum currently, okay, the index. So if the direction of the particular tail is moving to the upside, it is just showing that the relative strength is still weak, but the stock is gaining some momentum. Okay, the buy signal will occur when this particular quadrant line of 100, when the stock goes above the 100 mark, where the relative strength is also improving, where the momentum is also improving. So the direction will help you in identifying that, okay, the both the momentum and relative strength are improving. Now it is a time to get into this particular stock or a particular sector itself. And same in the same scenario over here, is that if the stock or your particular index is in a leading sector and the direction is coming down, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to exit that particular stock. It just means that the momentum which was above 100, it is slowing down. What it can happen is that it can go down again, it can move to the upside. Like in the case of IT, if you have seen, the from 100, it went till like from 100.5 it went till nearly 100, and then again reversed to the upside. It just shows that the momentum is weakening, but till now the outperformance is still there, and and still the index is index of the stock is trading above 100 level mark. So the important analytical condition comes when this particular when the momentum goes below 100 and the relative performance also goes below 100. So these are the particular things that you have to keep a watch on. I hope I cleared your doubt. Uh,
Yeah.
yes.
So this is calculated for sector wise, but not on particular stock.
No, it can do it on stock wise as well. You can create a basket of stock and you can compare it against any particular index as such. But again, for these particular things, this is the free service of Stock Mojo. There are other providers where you have to buy that particular tool and then you can compare with a particular index, or you can create a list of stocks which you have in your watch list, and you can compare it against a particular index as well. Like in the free this thing, there are a set of like 5 to 6 sectors as such where you can do it. But you can compare it against like if you have a list of stocks, then you can compare it, as simple as that. Anyone else has any doubts regarding this thing?
Also, how will I question? If I question, I haven't questioned AI. If I question it, will it also mention some details on relative strengths, or how to trust AI here?
Sir, the data is still similar. The question is, I don't know how to trust the AI. I would suggest to read books on these things if you want. Don't question AI whether the relative strength of a particular stock is improving or not. Because in the end, like in stock markets, human emotions are involved. Just by looking at a particular stock, you and looking at the how the buyers and the sellers are reacting to a particular stock, you understand whether the stocks are moving to the upside or not. So, like comparing AI, use AI for research purpose, but not for like each and everything. Like there are some things that you have to do from your end,
Okay.
and in the end, like the experience will help you in that understanding whether whether it will move to the upside or not. Like
Yeah,
so.
no, no, I did not question him. So just checking with you how you are using AI, or
No,
how
no,
is
this is not
AI.
AI, sir. This is like I like track 100 100 weekly,
No, no, no.
too many
I'm
stocks.
no, no, no. I'm not telling that you are using AI. I'm asking you whether AI is up to your level or not, at least to find that way.
Sir, I am below AI's level as such right now. But it is again, you have to use AI in a smart way, like how to do the research. But in the end, the like on 9th July only, when the markets were like on 8th July, I guess I had posted this thing on live market when the stock was trading around 213 and no one wanted to buy it. But these are the things that you have to keep in mind. You have to show conviction, because in hindsight it becomes very easy that I had told by looking historically that like the stock the stock this you should have done like this. But doing on a real time basis, you just make a journal how on the list of things that you think that are going right or wrong, and then you have to relearn yourself, and you have to see whether you have done a mistake or not. Okay. So I think so. I hope everyone have understood a basic understanding of what relative strength is and what RRG is. Um, um, uh, if anyone has any doubts regarding this particular topic, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll tell Ayush also to get some insight on a macro perspective, how money flows into the market and how money goes out. What do you think, Ayush, whether this concept would help us with the macro understanding of how money flows into the market?
Thank you, Archit.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely it helps. First of all, I want to ask everyone, or not ask, I want to discuss with everyone, what is your understanding around the cycle actually? Anyone want to मतलब कोई भी अपना माइक अनम्यूट करके बोल सकता है. Anyone have understanding?
In
The
cycle,
economical cycle you're
cycle
Any
talking
is
about?
cycle. What is
Oh,
cycle? Company level पे, economy level पे, any cycle.
I- let's wait for a few guests, like the participants, if they want to answer it. Otherwise, I'll just.
Yeah.
Maybe
a
seasonal
business
based thing.
cycle. I mean, completing a trend of that particular business. So the pinnacle of the results. So results get flattened once it reaches out to a certain level. Is that a cycle, or based on uh, what do you say? So people mention like in Twitter like cyclical stocks. I haven't understood because everything is cyclical to me. Uh, take I mean, sugar stocks, uh, or else what do you say? The metals especially. So so the momentum shifts. It won't go beyond that level. So it cannot be always on raising the prices of some commodities or something like that. So once it flattens, that's how the cycle closes out or diminishes. So is that something you're looking?
Okay. Anyone else also? Thank you, sir.
I'll give it a try. I think so. Cycle is basically with what a few understanding of technical analysis I have. Like every commodity or every particular economy as well, it goes through cycles of where the accumulation is there, where the economy is booming. After that, the economy will go to its peak level, and again it will come down, and this keeps on repeating. This is what I understand when you say or when I hear about cycle.
Yes, definitely, Archit. If I want to keep it simple also, let's say I carry by example. कोई स्टूडेंट है 10th में उसके 9 he scored 95%. Okay, he got confident and he was very मतलब अपनी skills पे बहुत ज्यादा और knowledge पे बहुत ज्यादा believe करता था. He went up to in 11th class. He scored again 83%. Then again he realized, oh my God, I made a lot of mistake. Then again he worked hard and made all the जो उसने mistakes की थी उसको correct किया. Then he scored again 93%. Okay. So from 95 to 83 to 93 back. Ab all companies and economies works in similar manner actually. So any आपका जब एक क्रेडिट आएगा अगर मैं मान के चलूं जहाँ पे क्रेडिट बहुत फ्रीली अवेलेबल हो रहा हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन इट कम्स टू यूएस एक्चुअली जहाँ पे क्रेडिट बहुत इजीली अवेलेबल हो रहा था एंड पीपल आर स्टार्टेड टेकिंग क्रेडिट लाइक एनीथिंग एंड दे स्टार्टेड बाइंग हाउसेस एंड एवरीथिंग इन दैट. फिर उसके बाद क्या हुआ हाउसिंग का उनका बहुत ज्यादा बबल बनने लगा एंड वो क्रैश हुआ एक बार में 2008 में वाज वन ऑफ द परफेक्ट एग्जांपल. सिमिलरली मैक्रो में जो इम्पैक्ट होते हैं उसको लैग होता है इनके इम्पैक्ट. जब भी कोई मैक्रो का इवेंट हुआ उसको अपनी इकोनॉमी में मार्केट में इंडिविजुअल स्टॉक्स में आने में थोड़ा सा टाइम लगता है. अब व्हेन वी एट ए रिटेल लेवल इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू आइडेंटिफाई कि हम लोग को कौन सा मैक्रो कब इम्पैक्ट करेगा. हो सकता है कि आज मैं अगर है ना ऑयल का प्राइस देख रहा हूँ उसका इम्पैक्ट आज नहीं आके मेरे को एक साल बाद आके मिले जहां पे मेरा इन्फ्लेशन मेरे को बहुत ज्यादा हाई मिले. अगर अब मैं कमोडिटी प्राइसेस जो अभी पिछले एक साल में पहले बूम चल रहा था उसका इम्पैक्ट आज तक हम लोग झेल रहे हैं जहाँ पे एमएसएमई में जो लोन्स है बैंकिंग बुक्स है वो खराब हो रही है. उनका बैंकिंग का एनपीए रिजल्ट जो है काफी बढ़ के आ रहा है इस क्वार्टर में. इफ एनीवन हैव नोटिस्ड दिस थिंग्स एक्चुअली. अब ये चीजें आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए वी हैव टू यूज आरआरजी. सो सिमिलर वे अगर जैसे मैं आईटी की बात करूं पिछले कई टाइम से जब एआई वगैरह आए हैं तो यहाँ पे अभी वो इमीडिएट इम्पैक्ट तो आया नहीं उसको धीरे धीरे इम्पैक्ट आने में टाइम लगा बिकॉज हम लोग की आईटी कंपनीज क्या कर रही थी बैकएंड की सर्विसेज ज्यादा दे रही थी रेदर देन बीइंग इनोवेटिव एंड टेक्निकली एक्सपर्टीज हैविंग अ नीश इन समथिंग एक्चुअली. नाउ कंपनीज हैव स्टार्टेड चेंजिंग. अर्चित एक बार आपको वो आरआरजी दिखा सकते हो वापस प्लीज.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
So if you look at right now, IT company have corrected very badly actually, and because the large cap has also, so IT is still improving. There are things, there are a couple of companies which are doing good. There are few companies are which still going to improve. Probably they will become leading sector, but it will take some time. Similarly, when Archit mentioned about the defense, why he keep it in weakening sector, there are things because government spending was huge. गवर्नमेंट के पास लिक्विडिटी की इश्यूज हो रहे हैं. उन्होंने अपने ऑर्डर तो दिए थे डिफेंस में. सो हाउ डिफेंस कंपनीज वर्क्स. लेट्स से उनको ऑर्डर दे दिया 10,000 करोड़ का उनके ऑर्डर बुक में पड़ा है लेकिन उसका एग्जीक्यूशन और उसका मनी आना दैट इज वन ऑफ द माइक्रो इम्पैक्ट एक्चुअली. एंड उसको टाइम लगता है. डिफेंस सेक्टर स्टिल फेसिंग सम कैश फ्लो इश्यूज इज दे आर वर्किंग कैपिटल में फेस हो रहे हैं. सिमिलर वे energy sector, if I talk about, which Archit have kept in lagging, which sector, which quadrant is this?
This is the weakening, lagging quadrant,
Yeah,
the
lagging
red
chord is
one.
there. In solar, हम लोग यहाँ बहुत ज्यादा सोलार के लेके चल रहा था. Now government policy has come up like this, that any equipment in solar panels, if any Chinese equipment are there, they will not be able to sell it easily actually in domestic market. So things are different at different sector. अब ये चीजें आप सारे एक साथ पढ़ने जाओगे तो आप लोग को issues होंगे. So these why, that's why RRG is very important to learn on these things.
I think so. Yeah, it is like the one thing that I understand this thing is that you have to understand how first the macro also works, and then you compare it with particular charts where you get a particular direction, the technical view, like why the momentum is fading or not. Now, as Ayush, you just mentioned about the defense sector. For me, I'm a person who look into the technicals. Now I have got an understanding like, okay, the defense sector, because what happens is that people keep on asking me ki, this company is getting so much orders, then why this particular stock is not moving to the upside? Or we look at the particular, like, the stock has given like has a good order book for 2 years, but the stock is not moving. So a particular understanding of how a particular sector works, like in the defense sector, as you told, that every stock has a good set of order book, but for just the order book won't help the stock prices will to move to the upside. There should be execution as well, and I think so. If you are like the understanding that the government is short on cash flow, that is why the markets the informed market players basically they know about all these things. That is why they don't get trapped. I guess Ayush.
Yes, definitely. And let's say if I talk about banks as well, which are is in falling manner, am I right? Yeah.
The private bank and the bank nifty are still they are still in the leading sector. They are losing some momentum, but they are still outperforming the market overall, the Nifty 50 market as well.
So I'll tell you, G measure of the private banks and they rely heavily on the retail sector actually, retail segment. Okay.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
retail segment what happens? आपका रिटेल लेवल पे अगर मैं लोन ले रहा हूँ, एमएसएमई लोन ले रहा हूँ या फिर कोई भी अपने पर्सनल लोन भी ले रहा है, वहां पे उनको जब इन्फ्लेशन की मार झेलनी पड़ती है एक्चुअली, विच लेड ड्यू टू कमोडिटी प्राइसेस जो अभी रिसेंटली बूम हुआ था, सिल्वर प्राइसेस बूम हुए हैं. अब इफ आई टॉक अबाउट सिल्वर, हम लोग सोचते हैं सिल्वर अच्छा है, हम सिल्वर पे बैठ लेके मनी अर्न कर सकते हैं, बट सिल्वर इज प्लेस्ड इन सो मेनी इक्विपमेंट, ईसी से लेके गाड़ी से लेके आपके, अगर किसी गाड़ी में भी लग रहा है, अगर उधर लॉजिस्टिक गाड़ीज भी है उनमें भी लग रहा है, तो उसका कॉस्ट इवेंचुअली इंक्रीज होके पास ऑन होगा रिटेल लेवल पे. सो इफ आई लुक एट द, अगर आप इस करंट क्वार्टर के बैंकिंग रिजल्ट देखेंगे तो एनपी हैज इंक्रीज इन मोस्ट ऑफ द बैंक्स एक्चुअली, एंड रिटेल
Right.
लेवल दे आर फेसिंग प्रेशर.
Right.
So these things will help you to have more conviction what, where you can take the bet, to identify at easy level, because हर मैक्रो लेवल आजकल बहुत सारी मैक्रो इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है एवरीवेयर, but to analyze these things we have to edge on chart as well, we have to take help of data as well. You can take bet on the certain, or you can take the help of expert Archit actually, that will be really helpful.
No, I guess what happens is that in macro, whatever I've understood is that it take time. It takes time to like get implemented. Like if you are looking at like just in the case of oil, you are very bullish on oil. But what happens is that in technical analysis, it there is a quick return out of it. You get a quick validation of your thoughts. In macro analysis, I think so that is delayed because everything comes at a particular end. So to have a basic understanding of how both like how to use macro with technical, it is very important because the macros will give you a particular conviction and you will help to build a big position when where no one is looking at, because that is how big money is made, I feel, Ayush. Like
Yes,
because
yes,
if you are in momentum, you will be just be good for like 10, 20, 30%. But if you want to make big money, you want to be get involved in stocks where no one was looking it at it earlier. You will get at a cheap rate, at a good valuation, and when the things play out in your favor, then you can like enjoy and ride that particular like the analysis or the conviction you have.
yes, definitely Archit.
So
So
this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to understand of how the technicals and the macro works in perspective, and we take the like uh, like technicals. There are so many tools available, and it takes a lot of time to understand each and every tool. And then what to see, when to see is also one question. In the macros as well, there are a lot of tools. I think so. A lot of data which is available in the particular field itself, where you have to look at say the GDP numbers. I'm not a pro at macro, but I know the basics. But in what I am trying to say is, if we have a particular understanding of each and everything, then we can come at a particular conclusion. And the most important thing is the conviction. You should have a conviction in your analysis, and these particular things will help you build that particular conviction. Because when the prices of the stock falls to the downside, everyone would like the market would be like everyone would be saying bad about it. And at that particular moment, the conviction that you have in your analysis will help you to hold a particular stock, as well as to add a particular uh, allocation to the stock. So this is the basic understanding of why we are taking these sessions. um Ayush, if you want to continue, if you have anything else to say, you can just say, or we will go to the doubt session.
Archit, I have doubt if you can
Yeah,
I
yeah,
ask?
sure. Yes, yes, sure.
Uh, can can you show once for a while gold USD chart
Yeah,
with
this is
the Denison Mines, which is US listed stock?
okay. The time frame.
Time frame compared in last 6 months.
Okay, so I think the daily chart also will work over here. And the next, the other stock which you told was,
Denison Mines.
can you spell it out? Then, okay,
DENNISON. Denison Mines.
okay. Then it's uh, Greenland. Okay, this one. Yeah,
Yeah. So the so if we compare these two charts, actually, sometimes many companies work in particular kind of commodity stocks are there.
right,
Okay. In India, commodity gold producing companies are not there actually. Hardly one company is there which is still under process actually, which we discuss about Deccan Gold as well, if you
yeah,
have taken.
right,
So
right.
if we compare this gold chart actually, uh, and we compare it with the Denison Mine chart, you will find the similar in last 6 months similarities there.
Right, exactly. It is moving
And
like quite similar. So
so
is it a mining company? This one?
yeah, yeah, it's a
Okay.
mining company. It's works in gold as well. In it's another mining company. And now I'll tell you कि जब आप compare करते चार्ट पे अर्चित will throw the light, but when you
Yeah.
compare gold का जब price move होने लगा, तो mining companies का profit will move faster actually because
Right.
market worked in discounting factor. So we have to recognize this. I think we discussed this earlier as well in Archit in our when one to one we
Yeah.
have. So
Right. Right. Right.
so Denison mine we took a bet around $1.5 to $1.6. It went up to $3.5 actually.
Okay.
And
Hmm. Right.
similar way gold has moved. Then when gold started correcting, we started selling it this as well actually. And now can you show this through R or something like chart how to identify these?
Uh, See, the basic understanding of what we can see over here is that in the gold chart was a bit extended, and the mining stocks, I think so. In US, is it called the miners? I guess many people track, because I'm associated with good analysts with US as well. They look at the miners as well, like what the miners are doing. There is a particular index, I think, which is called. But on the chartical perspective, we can see how like when the miners were like it was consolidating on like on 31st 2nd Jan, it started moving to the upside. And we let's see like gold also, like as you can see over here, it was just retesting this particular breakout. And on 2nd Jan, the miners broke first over here, where we can see an ascending triangle breakout, and gold broke out later on 12 Jan itself. And in the meantime, like this particular stock had already moved to the upside, like 15-20% to the upside, and then the gold started moving to the upside where it went till 5,500, and whereas this particular stock made a top at a level of 5.5 or 5.6. So by comparing the like if you have a basic understanding of how basically the like if the gold prices start moving to the upside, or you have a particular understanding, or you are tracking the mining stocks, you understand whether like what is going in this particular sector. So as you can see, the mining stocks started breaking out first, where the info participants would have an understanding how the gold prices will move, and then gold finally broke out from the 4,500, and then it went till think so 5,500 currently. And right now as well, on the daily chart of gold, many people are saying that the level of around 3,200 or 3,000 level can come. But what I can see, like neither the just on the basis of chart, neither the mining stock either like they have given a breakdown, or need or the gold has given a breakdown. It is at a good support level. It is because as you can see, this was a race. The gold spent a lot of time at this particular zone, and in technical analysis, we say that yeah, the price, you have to remember the prices at which a particular resistance was there or a particular support was there. So what I can see here from the mining stocks as well as with the gold is that both are at a particular good support demand level as such. Unless and until that particular demand level is not broken to the downside, we cannot come to a conclusion that the level of 3,000 or a big correction of more 20-30% can come in a particular index or a particular stock. So just by comparing, thank you, Ayush, for letting me know like the mining stocks. I'll keep a watch on it as well, because if the mining stocks shows a bullish engulfing pattern, and after that gold starts moving to the upside, so I'll get a pretty good understanding. But the important thing over here, what you have to see that when gold made a high of 4,000, 5,500, it again tried to break out from the 5,300 mark, but it was it was not able to cross that particular high. So that particular instant, uh, like uh, I can add a like there is one more tool that is called as the relative strength index, which is called as the RSI. So if you see the RSI index over here, where if, ideally the RSI, if the prices are moving to the upside, the RSI should have also been moving to the upside. So as you can see over here, from this particular high to this particular low, like the stock tried to come at its previous high. The commodity gold came to, but the RSI went to the downside. So this particular this was a particular this thing. What you can say, uh, a, a particular signal that even though the prices are trying to move to the upside, the RSI is not moving. So there is a particular divergence which is happening. So that would have given a particular signal as such, whether to exit or whether to enter more at that particular level itself or not. So
Yeah,
this is how we like on a technical perspective, I can understand it.
yeah. Because many times what happen ki whoever, as Archit have mentioned, the informed players actually, they already take position in very advanced. They know how the things are moving, and we don't know कि वो कब position बना रहे हैं. So we have to analyze in this manner actually. क्या correlation कहाँ पे बैठ सकता है? If I compare one more thing actually, if
Yeah.
Archit, can you compare wheat and mega star?
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I, uh,
Wheat US only.
this
Wheat CFD. Yeah, CF. Yeah, this will work.
CFD works, and the next
Huh.
one is
Mega star.
Megastar. Yeah.
Mega star foods. Yeah, the first one.
The first one. Okay.
Yeah. Now, just please provide your opinion on this.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at the daily chart of wheat as such, and I'll compare this thing. Okay. So the chart, yeah. So as I can see on the chart, it is making kind of a rounding bottom kind of a thing, where basically a stage one accumulation is happening, and the Megastar Foods also has a similar kind of a this thing chart pattern formation as compared to the wheat CFD that we have asked about. And what I can see is over here that this is a particular resistance zone in the level from like 600 till 730 is a big resistance zone. And uh, over here as well, the Megastar food is taking resistance from 400 to 300. So what I can see over here, a rounding bottom formation is being formed. And once, like, if the wheat start moving to the upside of 700, I think so, Megastar food also will start moving to the upside, and it will eventually cross the 400 mark. But on a technical perspective, it is still in stage one. It is making a base where we can see the wheat prices are moving to the upside. On a technical perspective, I would ideally buy it around 600 whenever the wheat prices are moving, like are coming near the 600 zone, because this was a very important resistance zone. So that will become the support. And Megastar's food would ideally take support as well from the level of 300, like 290 to 310 levels as such. So it is like the wheat and the Megastar food, they are still not in momentum, but they are in a stage one accumulation, where accumulation is happening. And you have to be like, like, if you feel that the wheat prices are more will in the next 6 months, the inflation will hit and the wheat prices will start moving to the upside. uh, to enter a particular position, I would ideally like be accumulating in this particular zone. This is what I can look at from this particular chart.
So, from Archit, from here, can I draw that when wheat prices move first, then Megastar will move?
Yeah. So yes. So as you can see, if I'm comparing the previous charts itself, when wheat started moving, I think so from October 2020 is the latest chart I have. And here I don't have a particular chart, so just give me a second. It started from Feb 22nd. Okay. Yeah. So yes, we'll compare this. Yeah. With Give me a second. Okay. So wheat prices, as you can see over here, it first broke on 22nd Feb, and once wheat started moving to the upside, then looking at the history of Megastart as well, then the Megastart start like food start moving to the upside. So yes, whenever the wheat price will break out or will start moving to the upside, the resultant action in Megastar Foods would be there would be a lag of around a week or so, but eventually first the wheat prices will move, and then the Megastar Foods, the volume in the Megastar food will start moving to the upside. That's correct.
Okay. So there are two things we can draw. When we
Okay.
compare the gold chart, actually, the first mining stock have been moved. And when we
Right.
compare the perishable goods, actually, then the stock
Okay.
move will on later on, actually. So,
Okay, I got it. Right. Right. Understood.
so and why wheat going to move actually? If you compare the kind of uneven rain pattern is there, the next session we will discuss about the how temperature we will works
The
actually,
global
how
warming.
global warming works actually. We will discuss around these things. So we will come on the commodity which are perishable nature. So I just want to give a glimpse actually how things will work actually
So
in
the
future.
basic understanding what I have, the perishable goods like wheat and other things. In that the commodity prices will start moving first to the upside, and then the associated stocks will move.
In ma-
And right is
yeah, in
is
majority of cases, yes.
yeah, in majority, like majority of the cases. And as compared to gold and silver, over there we have to keep a watch on the mining stocks, what the mining stocks are doing. And then we can have a particular conclusion. Like these are the two things that I have understood, right?
Yes,
That, well,
yes.
like most of the times, not obviously 100, like
Yeah.
100%, but
Because
at least 80 to 90%.
because mining companies work on reserves actually, reserves and what kind of profit they can extract in coming years. But it's a perishable. They have to realize in certain way actually. So
Okay, understood.
and
Understood.
इनका prices day to day moment पे change होता है तो when we sell it in retail market it works in because gold mining do not work with the retail segment. These companies work with the retail segment actually. If I uh, compare it in direct way.
Okay, understood, understood. That was a pretty good insight as such. I guess, like, what to see, how to see, like, all these commodity prices, and then how to come at a particular conclusion. So I guess it was a very good insight for me actually. Um,
We are also
yeah. So yeah, anyone else has doubts regarding, or do the participants have some questions which they have in their mind and they want to ask us?
Can we also take crude and like oil producing companies to get some understanding here, Ayush and Archit? Because we've
Uh,
discussed about oil a lot. So I think again it's a commodity. So let's see the correlation. We'll get some insight from.
Ayush, can you
Because
just tell me two indices or like where should I?
so if I put the crude, the problem with the oil producer companies there in India that government intervention is quite high actually. If we
Right.
compare crude and let's say Ceylon Antipolis, can you put Antipolis company?
Yeah. Yes. And plus, second,
So,
I'll go to
so
this as well, the
because
weekly chart.
because there are multiple government intervention are there. That's why it's little difficult to compare because in these like in Ceylon there is no windfall taxes are there. Okay,
Okay.
and there are few handful companies are there which produce oil, like Hindustan Oil Exploration is there, but it's already a professionally managed company, so it doesn't lead by promoter. So they manage their prices, share prices in certain way. Ceylon is
And
there.
also, I just want to interrupt, Ayush. What in like the crude prices are so volatile, but most of the companies would have a forward contract as well, like as well, right?
For
Uh,
yeah, forward contract. Oh, but
to
they're
like
already
to stabilize the prices, like if they are doing a business, because right now it is too so volatile, don't
mm,
these company have a particular forward contract like for the next 3 months, like regardless of like if the volatility is too big, then definitely the prices will start moving to the upside. But in case of small volatility of 5 to 6%, they might be having a forward contract, right? Or is it not? Like I don't have a particular like I'm just asking you out of curiosity.
yeah, it's there, but they manage it somehow because majority
Okay.
of contract are not like in this actually.
Okay, understood.
Because once crude goes up in certain level, if you heard 2 to 3 years back, government used to put windfall taxes like anything. So ONGC Oil India faces lots of wrath on that. जब जब windfall tax आता था तो वो stock prices correct होना शुरू हो जाते थे. Okay, and
Understood.
if you और हर किसी कंपनी की एक एक्सप्लोरेशन फैसिलिटी कितनी है वो भी डिपेंड करता है एक्चुअली. If I compare with the Ceylon with the ONGC, that's not the right way actually. They are more into 50% natural gas and oil as well actually. And oil
Uh,
India is more on oil driven. So here it's difficult to compare because government intervention is quite high here. And
right, exactly. And
I hope
considering how the crude price is also more currently in the last 3 to 6 months, like 3 months, it is quite mad. Just on one statement, it like it corrects and it moves like 20 to 30%. So it becomes very difficult to come at a particular conclusion as well, I feel.
yeah, for yeah, agree. It's first of all we have to understand that crude oil का अगर आप raw oil सोचेंगे उसकी कमी नहीं है, exploration facilities की कमी है. Okay, there are
Okay.
four types of oil is there. If I don't want to keep it very technical, let's say one is very thin oil. Then there are four levels are there. Fourth level is quite high actually. मतलब quite dense is there, like which is found in Venezuela. जो war machines में use होता है. That's why USA put मतलब उन पे Venezuela पे attack किया. They wanted that oil actually. But when it comes to Iraq and Iran, Saudi, they all have different kind of oil. And India and China are major importers. Now, after this Iran and US issues, China is facing issues because उनके पास जो exploration facility है, which they need to get it from Iran, they are not able to get it, and they have to change their uh, ex, uh, उनका जो रिफाइनिंग करने का तरीका है वो have to change it actually. तो कैपेक्स करने में भी टाइम लगता है. So slowly, we will see how crude will move up because there will be supply constraint all over the world. And I hope because it's very subjective discussion when it comes to oil actually.
Right, exactly. It is like the main thing I want to point it out is that the macros will play out. We have to understand what cycle which macro will play out, and then you have to combine with technicals to come at a particular conclusion, like where your conviction or your study is being made. Like for me, technicals will give you just the entry point, but the conviction and the story will play out a larger role, because you are thinking, like, for people who are into investments, okay, for them the macro will also hold a lot of value, whereas for a short term trader or a short term perspective, if you are just looking for 1 to 2 months, I think so the technicals will have a major allocation. So you have to, like, all the participants, you should keep in mind that you have to have a particular first sense of understanding, because मेरे को लगता है most of the participants are confused themselves only कि भाई मेरे को लॉन्ग टर्म करना है या शॉर्ट टर्म करना है, वैसा आपको वो एक क्लैरिटी होनी चाहिए कि हाँ भाई मेरे को लॉन्ग टर्म करना है, तो मेरा एक अप्रोच ऐसा होना चाहिए कि मेरे को थोड़ा मैक्रोस देखना पड़ेगा, फिर मैं टेक्निकल्स यूज करूंगा। अगर किसको शॉर्ट टर्म ही करना है तो वो पहले टेक्निकल्स को ज्यादा देगा एंड मैक्रो को थोड़ा कम देगा, वो देखेगा कि कौन सा मैक्रो मोमेंटम में है, उस हिसाब से मैं करूंगा। सो फॉर बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग, पीपल शुड हैव दैट पर्टिकुलर क्लैरिटी कि भाई मेरे को कैसे मेरे पैसा इन द एंड अपने को पैसा बनाना है, वो आप लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग से बनाओ या शॉर्ट टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग से बनाओ, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन योर स्टाइल ऑफ योर इन्वेस्टमेंट। सो to come at a particular conclusion, because people keep on asking like whether to hold a one particular stock for a long term or a short term perspective, my answer is quite similar कि आपका अगर short term perspective है तो आपको 10-15% भी मिल गया, it is more than enough. Whereas for a long term perspective, I would ideally wait for next 2 to 3 years to pan out, where where I am also expecting good kind of a return, like 2x 3x 4x kind of a return। तो उसमें अपने को कंपनीज के फंडामेंटल मैक्रो व्यू चाहिए रहता है, काफी कुछ कंसिडर करना रहता है, एंड टेक्निकल्स विल जस्ट हेल्प यू कि कभी मेरे को एंट्री करनी है, वैसा।
Yes. And one thing I want to keep everyone, एक rule अपना बना के रखना. When you have money actually, don't put it into the market. When you find opportunity, then put money actually. Because people follow कि हमारे पास spare cash पड़ा है, let's put it into market. Because first you have to find the opportunity very well, either in short term or long term, both cases. मतलब, am I right, Archit?
Yes, it is correct, that is over। So any like you want to discuss anything, or anyone has any doubts regarding this session, just unmute yourself, or they want to ask anything।
Sir, what's your view on textile stocks?
Uh,
uh,
Okay. In textile sector, I will talk about. Right now, there are lots of working capital issues are there. Now, on an average, if I compare, the working capital cycle is around 120 to 160 days, and it's quite huge. And although UK FTA agreement is there from macro perspective on tracking, but the order will after certain little later, because global stability is not there right now. Any stock is there which Archit can give you?
regarding
Because
the
पैसा
stocks, तो देखना पड़ेगा।
Hmm.
Sir, my friend has given me a Pearl Global, that is consolidation.
Sorry sir, what did you say? I missed
My
that।
friend has given me a Pearl Global Industries Limited.
Which one? uh
Pearl Global, PGIL.
Pearl Global.
PGIA, okay। Yeah, again, on a chartical perspective, it is looking good. I think so. It is a liquid stock as such. So you have to keep in mind the charts are looking good. It is technically it is looking quite good. Again, you have to look what the company is doing. On a chartical basis, I can see that the stock is performing well, and it can go to move to the up. But like on a macro view, like on the textile sector as such, I don't have a particular view, but the stock is looking good, is what I can say, looking at the charts.
Okay, sir. And sir, another stock is Sriram Finance and weekly time frame. My friend is also going to check it.
Sir, can you tell us who is this friend of yours who's recommending stocks?
Sir, sir, based on Gujarat, sir. He is from Gujarat.
No, matlab, what is his background? So, see, a lot of people are interested. See, casual conversations happen around the markets. Uh, of course, some people are experts. So, I am assuming the friend of yours who's giving you these calls
Yes,
is
sir. Yes, sir. He's techie. Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
He's techie.
that's
He's a tech
He's
guy.
into the
yeah.
IT and currently building algos and other things.
Okay, okay, okay. Understood, understood. Yeah, I think even this is looking good, right? Actually, ascending triangle. क्या बन रहा है इसमें?
The stock is like the stock is looking good. वो consolidation में you can see how the impulse move had started. The impulse move हो गया है अभी इसका because the breakout was at around 700. Now the stock is again consolidating. Wait for it to close above the 1100 mark. It is consolidating. We don't know how much long it can consolidate, but the chart pattern is still looking good.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
So can we
So
take it for future?
Sir, see, it is not like we will take individual stocks going forward. But in this particular discussion of us, do you have any doubt on that thing? The individual stock discussion will take it. We have a separate session on that thing.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope everyone have understood the gist of this particular session. The gist of this session was how to combine the macros with the relative strength, and why relative strength will help you understand on which stocks you have to particularly focus on. And the macros, like as Ayush bhai said, how to identify like a good understanding of how the gold and the gold mining stocks you have to compare. If you compare the price action of the gold mining stocks, you'll get an understanding how the gold prices will move to the upside or downside, or whether they will outperform or not. And as compared to the perishable goods that he said, that about wheat and other perishable goods, the commodity prices starts moving to the upside first, and then the stock prices move to the downside, like move to the upside later on. They have a lagging effect. So this was the basic understanding of today's session. I hope like if anyone else has anything to add, they can just add, or they can ask around. Or Ayush, if you want to add anything around, you can just let me know. Like we can discuss.
Yeah, just any queries have we can discuss. It's otherwise till now it was quite good session actually. I really like four quadrant. It was more like I learned it in my when I was working as a job actually. It was
So I think just to add here from today's discussion, I think it's a continuation of where we left in the last session where we discussed about macros majorly. I think people actually don't realize that sometimes जैसे I think Parth was talking about his friend, right? And most of us are so involved in technicals because it is easy to draw lines and learn some things on YouTube, or some sessions you attend and you feel that okay, now I know technical analysis, and people start trading based on technical analysis. And we saw that it worked beautifully post COVID when there was liquidity in the market. So the rallies we saw, any breakout you chased, it gave you results. What we saw last 1.5, 2 years since I think 2024 September, October, that most breakouts failed, and people were stuck at higher levels. People have not followed risk management. I think so. क्या हो जाता है कि when we participate in markets and we are investing, or putting our hard earned capital, what I feel people fail to realize is that what is the goal that you have in your mind. So we should start with that. That okay, I have a set business. Now I am making money from that particular business. Why am I coming to the stock market? I think what happened during COVID is that all of us were like reserved to our homes. Most businesses were closed. Now what was running is the stock market, and people came to the stock market. तो वो 1.5 2 साल पब्लिक ने अच्छा पैसा बनाया भी. There's some disturbance. Okay, 1 second. Let me mute. Okay, so लोगों ने पैसा बनाया. उसके बाद क्या हो गया कि जैसे चीजें खुली, that habit which got formed during that period when you were every morning there's nothing to do, have your nice breakfast and look at the markets and trade in the markets. That habit actually resulted in a lot of people losing focus in their work, the primary source of income where they were earning, and got diverted to the stock market, and then market gave them a hard time in 2022, 2023. Then again the markets did well till 2024, and again people got in particular Sorry, I got a call. Yeah, so people got into this habit of buying the dip. तो क्या हो जाता है कि एक recency bias is something that I'm talking about here. That what happens in the market or how you react is based on your understanding of what are the events which have happened in the recent past. तो कोविड के बाद क्या हो गया, पब्लिक को ब्रेकआउट पे बाय करना और हर कोई भी स्टॉक ले लो, बढ़ जाएगा, पैसा बन रहा था. Then you saw a period of correction, but people realized that okay, dip पे buy करो, dip पे buy करके market ऊपर आ जाता है. So that habit got formed and people were badly stuck since 2024, where most of the people retail mindset is such that जब बाजार एकदम तेज है तो आप सबसे ज्यादा पैसा लगाते हो, और जब बाजार एकदम पिट जाए तब आप माल बेचते हो डर के. You have no risk management, you don't have analysis of other things, जैसे हम अभी macros discuss कर रहे हैं. So these are things that people don't have knowledge of, and then they get stuck, and then they are capitalist stuck for a large period of time. You don't make any returns. So these are bad financial decisions. by the ये जो हम सेशंस कर रहे हैं, ये माध्यम से हम क्या अवेयरनेस क्रिएट कराना चाह रहे हैं इज दैट स्टॉक मार्केट इज अ मच बिगर गेम. Number one. Number two, you need to first define your goal. What is your goal? Why are you in the stock market in the first place? अगर आपको आपका गोल ही नहीं पता है कि मैं ये चीज में क्यों हूँ, what is the purpose of me being here? If you are having a business where you're making a good amount of money and now you know that your expenses are taken care of, you have certain emergency funds, now you have a surplus. I want this surplus to grow to take care of my retirement, to take care of my future bigger capital needs which will come up. It can be a child's further studies, it can be your children's marriage, it can be your own retirement. So there are goals over a period of time. You need to first define your goals, align your current economic situation and your current occupancy, like how available are you for the markets. Then there are number of tools. Mutual funds, of course, is one of the most passive ways how you can invest in the markets. Direct equity is a slightly more time consuming, and of course अभी आप देख रहे हो कि कितनी सारी चीजें कोरिलेट करके एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग बनती है मार्केट की, और उसके बाद भी यू मे गो रॉन्ग. So there is no fixed guarantee here that if you have analyzed everything, you will make money in the markets. Because as Ayush said, macros, if you have a very good understanding of the macros also, but they are again data, and data keeps changing, and it gives you a lagging effect. Sometimes जैसे हम oil अभी we've been holding it for last 1.5 years. Now we started oil. The moves in oil started coming after the macros, after the events which have happened around it. Maybe sometimes what happens is कि आप event पे decision लेते हो. And what happens is most of the times the before the event, all the action has happened. Event or a good news is basically the event where they dump the stocks. Then you are in it for next 3 years, 4 साल पैसा आपका जाम हो जाता है. तो हम ये सब क्यों डिस्कस कर रहे हैं? टू मेक एन अंडरस्टैंडिंग और मेक एन अवेयरनेस अबाउट our financial decisions, our financial goals. What is it that we are in the markets for? How is it that we need to approach the markets? How macros can help us, how technicals can help us, how we need to have a correlation of all of this combined. Because if we are well aware, we are putting efforts. So all of us are learners. Okay, we may be coming from good educational background and we must have had a good 10-15 years of experience. But क्या होता है कि ultimately all of it needs to come together and build a conviction. The main term here is conviction. If we are doing all this and not having conviction, मतलब मैंने पूरी एनालिसिस कर दी, बट जैसे मेरे को दिखा कि स्टॉक 10% टूट गया है और मेरा कन्विक्शन लूज हो गया, एंड आई सेल द स्टॉक, आई पैनिक, then emotions will take the better of you. So all of this analysis, compare it with what we study or what I post on DM Finance daily regarding fear and greed and the contrarian view, how retail things versus how a smart money would think. I think a holistic view of all of it combined together with good emotional balance, a good EQ will help us take that edge. And then I think market is somewhere, stock market or direct equity is a place where we can make money throughout the year. Not just when the markets तेजी में हो, हम पूरे साल पैसा बना सकते हैं. आपको कुछ कुछ चीजें अपने फेवर में लेनी है. पहला तो आपका एक इन्वेस्टमेंट होराइजन बढ़ाओ. Don't be like a 2 month, 3 month trader. Be have a little more realistic time frame. Yes, you should have a growth capital and you should chase momentum, and you should make the most of it when the markets are good. That's where technicals will help you. But you need to ensure that that capital is a defined capital. If you have 100 rupees, maybe you can put 15 or 20 rupees for growth or momentum. Your remaining 80% or 60%, 70% capital should be invested where your broader goal or your larger goal is there. So I think all of us here, why are we here is to learn how we are correlating the different concepts and broaden our vision and broaden our understanding of the markets. Because I am sure that even after spending another 20 years in the markets, we will have these kind of sessions where we will learn something new. And I think the beauty about being in a profession which is ever evolving, ever changing, is that you learn every day. I think what you learn today will maybe not help you immediately, but I am sure that over a period of time it is going to build your character and build your journey. So that is the goal. And we have multiple products also where you can associate with us, where technical expert Archit is there, Ayush is there as a fundamental and a macro expert. We have a dedicated platform where you can get all of this working even if you are focusing on your core business. So these are the things that we are here for, and I am happy that most of you have stayed till the end of the session. We will connect again in the next week and take the discussion forward. I think Archit, we can wrap today's session now. Most of the queries have been addressed.
So, so I'm Rajesh. So the MTF, like always said by Archit. So again, I'm asking you. You're the same Darshan Mehta, right? Who is famous in Twitter, Darshan V Mehta.
No, sir, I am not very active on Twitter.
No,
I do have the name Darshan Mehta. I have a community called DM Finance on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay, okay. So just cross-checking with you if you are the same.
No, no.
no,
Okay,
no.
No,
okay.
that's a common doubt that many people keep asking me, but no, I would refrain from misrepresenting myself. He is a journalist, and
Oh,
he's a part of our like community where he is in one of the groups as well, and a very learned guy. But I don't represent him. I am a different guy.
oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, okay. Thanks for clarifying. And one more thing. So Archit always said that. So MTF, if you are using, so it's not that what do you say suggestible, or what he says is not good to use. But uh, but all my capital is frozen in, what do you say, the the long term capital. So I've fixed. So that is done. So I researched and somehow I managed to build a good portfolio. So I met Archit because of Lloyd's Metals and Lloyd's Engineering. And now, from
Hmm.
past 3 or 4 months, I started looking at from April, I think, started looking at MTF, using MTF and cracking some short-term goals. So, but still, everyone says that the short momentum
Sir,
will
MTF
still
is a
works.
double-edged sword, first of all. You are taking risk on the money that is leveraged, first of all. Okay.
Yeah.
So if the markets are good, you will make money. But if the markets like correct and during such volatile period, if you're just new to trading, so you have to consider the risk that is involved. Okay. MTF looks good because it allows you to buy any amount of any you can pledge your 1 crore holding, you will get a margin of 1 crore. But you are not understanding that your capital is just 1 crore. So, and your exposure is 2 crore in the market. So, even a 5% fall in the mid cap index, you will lose out if your exposure is 2 crore. And and if the index is falling 5%, your stock portfolio will fall 10%. So, the loss would be 20 lakhs, and your capital is 1 crore itself. So, people just look at the benefit that MTF because it gives you the ability to buy more stocks. So what I usually recommend to people is that people who are going into an MTF, they should understand what are the risks that they are involved in. uh, the second point is there is a time to use an MTF in such volatile periods like that. There are so many statements that is going forward. To use leverage money, you should be then you should be prepared to face the losses as well. Is what I try to say. And if you have just started using technicals, just on the basis you if you are just a beginner, best thing is to utilize the capital that you have in your mind, in your hand. You don't use leverage capital, because in MTF trading, we also do MTF trading, sir. It is, but after a lot of expertise, like I am around in the market since the last 10 to 15 years. I have just started using after the, like after 10 years, because I understood that which stocks will start moving to the upside, what is the target. In MTFs, you have to use it very smartly, because like you are taking a big exposure, so 5% rise also will help you make a good gain out of it. But again, you have to understand the risk, and if you are okay with that particular risk, then you can definitely use MTO. Okay.
Yeah. So only thing. So
Fair point.
I
That's it. I would like to add one statement here. I think in today's session, one beautiful statement was given by Ayush. I think this is a statement that most people should keep in our mind, and most of us don't follow actually. He said that we should deploy money in the market when there is an opportunity, not when we have money, right? So I think
yeah,
it's the same logic and same concept if we apply with MTF. Compare it with your fear and greed cycle, and know that when people are greedy, you start booking your profits, and when people are fearing and there is panic, that's when I think we should be using any kind of leverage, and it should be it should be done in tranches, is what I would say.
yeah.
I would not
Understand.
recommend trading on MTF, or using leverage or futures and options or derivatives where there is exposure more than the money that you have in your bank. I think that's when money can like that's when bad risk management or emotional uh, like some people, they lose their sleep because of some decisions they've taken out of greed, right? So you need to be in a good state of mind, need to know what are your odds, need to know that if you go wrong, what is it that you are risking. At the same time, you should be rational about the risk management. If you have your discipline, then I think MTF can be a great product, it can be a great opportunity. Because if you know that, okay, this is, like, you have built a conviction, there is a thesis, and you see that this is now playing out, and you are in it at the right time, you know that the opportunity is there on the door, and you take the right decision, it can reward you. But knowing that if you keep your ego, and if you don't follow your stop loss, or if you don't follow uh, the fact that your view can go wrong, then the same thing, it can kill you also. So we need to take it with a pinch of salt, that it's neither bad or good, but it is how you apply it. So it is always advisable for people who have a limited capital, or people who have limited time in the markets, to first be patient and learn to trade on your own capital. Once there is enough expertise and enough historical validation that on days when the markets fell, how have you reacted, how have you taken your losses, how have you arrived at that, okay, my decision has gone wrong. I think the bigger game is एक कहावत है मतलब बाजार की कि आपको जब, I'll be using Hindi here, I'll also narrate it in English. बट एक कहावत है बाजार की कि जो काम है ना आपका नाखून काट के हो सकता है ना, उसको नाखून काट के पटा दो. क्योंकि अगर आप नाखून नहीं काटोगे तो आपकी उंगली कटेगी, और अगर उंगली नहीं काटोगे तो हाथ कटेगा. So this is, what it means is that sometimes it is wise to cut your nail, because if you don't cut your nail, maybe you'll have to cut your finger, and if you don't cut your finger, maybe you'll have to lose your hand. So it is something that you need to understand, that the basis, all of this discussion, everything, it is a total failure if you don't have your emotions and right trading psychology. I think trading psychology is the biggest, because it's not smartness which is going to make you money, it's how you implement those decisions and how you react to people, because 90% people are not going to make money in the markets, 10% people are going to make. So already the odds are like it's a contrarian market. You need to know when to enter, how smart money makes positions. And I think that knowledge we are trying to together build through discussions, through sessions. And I think I appreciate the participation that is there. And I hope your doubt is cleared, Rajesh ji.
yes, sir. Yes, I got it. I got to know. So I need to plan myself and So see when to put, when
But
to
I'm a
use
broker.
MTF.
I'm a broker. It's been like now. So I am working with Nirmal Bang as a channel partner and also with Angel One. So we have more than 600 clients across both the platforms over the last 6 years now.
Excellent. Okay.
I have not seen maybe not even 2% people make money from derivatives. I've seen best of people, child accountants, experts who've done lots and lots of strategies, algos, this, that. Not even 2% people have made consistent money from the stock market by trading in derivatives. Now, this is raw data. Again, of course, I'm saying that the 2% people who've made money are people who've made money from the remaining 98%. So that is how it is. अगर आप leverage or MTF or futures options में जा रहे हो, you need to be prepared that the competition is pretty high and you need to have your discipline in check. That's when you can make money consistently. But I have people only break money. I've not seen many people make money from leverage or derivatives. And the reason is not knowledge. I've seen the best of people, very, very sound, very, very professional, but they've lost money because of decision making due to emotional bias. So अगर आपका emotions in check है, आप जरूर करिए. अगर emotions are something which are wavering with the prices, it is time for you to just deactivate the MTF. Now it depends on how your emotional stability is.
Yeah, 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 totally agree. And so how about the percentage in equities? So leave about derivatives. I feel like it is 100%, 99.9%. I see failure in futures and
Sir,
options, but
in equity, there is no percentage. See, because what is happening is that, every time new people are coming in, new people are putting in money. It is about, what is your goal? If you are aligned with your goal and you are investing according to your goal and you are taking exits, when your thesis go wrong, I think the high odds are much higher because you will not lose a higher percentage of your capital in equity. You will lose it in derivatives because of leverage, or you will lose it in MTF because of leverage. But you will not lose like 50% of your capital through equity if you are having basic knowledge, connected with decent people. I think you will not lose 50-60% of your capital in equity. But whereas,
yes,
in derivatives, you may be connected with the best of the minds, but your decisions may sometimes because of emotional swings, through fear and greed, you may maybe not take a loss. For example, मैं आपको एक example देता हूँ. Bandhan Bank. So many people were positioned in Bandhan Bank from 200, 202, 203, and it gave a beautiful breakout just before the results. And there were so many people who were giving targets of 400 and 500 in Bandhan Bank. And result है आपको पता है, derivatives है, you getting money 10-15 rupees on almost 7-8% on FNO. You need to exit the position before the result unless you know something about the result. And if you know also about something about the result, you need to know that, okay, it's a big bet. You better be hedged. And most people have not done that and they've lost big money because it fell from 218 to 163 in a matter of 3 sessions. अगर आप इसमें leverage में रहते हैं, and it will not give you a chance. It will open gap down 10%. You have no chance to exit. Right? So वो hedging or knowing when to take the risk, knowing that if it goes against you, what is it that you can lose, वो सारी चीजें अगर आपके चेक में है, आप करिए. अगर वो चेक में नहीं है, तो it is always slow and steady wins the race. I think running fast is not always going to help us. So it's okay to go slow, but go steady.
sure.
Any other doubt, anyone? Or we can conclude today's session. I think Archit is in Goa today. He's taking this session from Goa.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm in Goa.
That was the dedication of the team, that even on a vacation, he's putting in time for.
I think he is forced to do or
Yes, I
I think
slept
I'm
at
supposed to
4.
take this session.
Yeah.
forced to do it. I would say because he's in Goa. Otherwise, I would have not said this.
Oh, it's okay. Totally fine. I had a good sleep.
But it was a brunch session. It was not a morning session, right? Most of the things have happened in the night.
Yes. I woke up late. I slept at 4, but it is okay. For markets, I can be available all the time. Not an issue. But the basic understanding for this today's session was first about the relative strength. People have a doubt that why your stocks are not moving and the other stocks are moving. What we have to look at is at what is the relative strength, how your stock is performing against a particular index. This is the first thing that you have to keep in the gist of the session. The second thing is the RRG charts, how you have to use it. I've just explained the RRG charts in short. We'll have a more detailed session on this particular on how to use the RRGs, but you can either use the RRG charts or the relative strength. Both of these are the same thing. Both of these give you a similar kind of a conclusion. The relative strength, as I compared on a chart to chart basis, it is a more like a manual process. Whereas the RRG charts will give you a visual representation of where the sector is moving, what is the how the momentum is and the relative strength both you can see in a particular stock it's in like chart itself, so it helps you. The third thing I think so Ayush bhai gave an idea of how the macros help, like the perishable good, gold, silver, how you have to look at the macros, how to compare it. So I think so it was a good session altogether. And regarding this thing, if anyone has any doubts, you can ask, or we'll wrap up this session.
I have one more topic. I'm sorry. At the end, I'm raising this. So the Korean market, which fell down. So they are mentioning like 38.6 trillion. They have ballooned in MTF. So how about India? So are we going to face such kind of chin music?
I think so. The US markets, they are a quite bit leveraged. I think so. The Indian markets, the risk management is much more higher over here as compared to like 2 to 3 years ago. See, these are all particular, like as a technical perspective, I look at the charts, and if the charts are good, markets are still in a particular range. As I said, till the time 4,000 doesn't go on a weekly time frame and 23,600 doesn't break down on the weekly time frame, we are just seeing a consolidation that is happening, and that is going to continue. Uh, I expect some correction in August after August second week as well. I might be wrong or right, I don't know. But right now the markets are in a particular consolidation. These all these things are particular noise for me because I follow a technical perspective. I look at my charts and then come at a particular conclusion. So uh, I don't have like Ayush. Do you have any insight on this thing? You can just Ayush or Darshan. Uh, you can just ask around. But I feel that the markets are like they are in a range bound market only.
On MTF, you are saying actually, right?
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
Korean market. So the people are facing. I mean, so the 38 trillion. I mean, in their currency, I think they have ballooned all the money in MTF. So now the fall has put the shareholders into risk, not into risk, into soup, I would say. So, how do you see that? So the MTF in India. So I mean, so is that what you guys were saying the same, right? Not to use leverage. So how
Sir,
does yeah.
oh, it's for I being a conservative, I belong to a Bania family. From my point of view, MTF is little risky. It's we have to be little careful. In India, if I talk about, it has started become risky actually because there are in India there are many stocks are there which are quite illiquid, and due to MTF, if any fall comes in, then MTF holder will start selling actually. So right now the risk has been started triggering, but not that bad actually situation in comparative to US.
I just want to add, see, like whenever the MTF selling happens, the fall would be brutal as such. So that is why I always say you have to check the liquidity of a particular stock as well, like how liquid the stock is. If you want to sell, first of all, if you are taking MTF in a particular script, the script should be liquid because if you want to sell, uh, the spread price should not be like 2% to the downside or 3% to the downside. So these are the particular checklists that you can have in your mind. If you're doing MTF, first the stock should be liquid. And yes, definitely, eventually, if the MTF, like the balloon or the selling starts, the fall usually is brutal. But again, that is, again, I look it on a broader perspective. I look at a broader way of how the Nifty index is performing, the mid cap index is performing, and I have a set of stocks which I keep on tracking. how the liquidity is. So that is not my major concern. Obviously, if a fall comes around, the MTF selling comes around, all the stocks will start and like falling to the downside because the unwinding happens altogether in the market. So again, that is why I usually tell my clients, don't go into MTF unless and until you are prepared for that particular risk, that if you can take a hit of 20 to 30% on your capital, then definitely, like, if you understand the risk, the returns are also much more higher as well over there. So it depends upon an investor. But if you are a beginner, try to do your analysis on your own capital. The the progress and would be slow, but you would survive in the market. Otherwise, what will happen, you will exit from the market if you take a big hit. So the main thing is about survival, and the second thing is when to use the MTF. When the market conditions, when there is a bull market, then definitely you can use MTF uh, to generate more alpha. But when there is so much uncertainty in the market, where the Trump statements dictate where the Nifty moves 2% to the upside or downside, it is a very risky business for me. I think so. With this, we'll end the session. I guess.
So,
Um,
That was wonderful to connect today. I think next session, as Ayush discussed, we'll discuss more on some global events, global phenomenons, and continue today's discussion in the next session on another concept where we can have a both technical as well as macro view, and we'll try to figure out how the correlation works there. So thank you, Ayush. Thank you, Archit, for today's time, and looking forward to hearing from you in the next week.
thank
sure,
you.
definitely. I think so. During midweek, also, I would be taking a technical session if those people we
Share the
have
doc-
a
we will
technical
share the
course.
link.
Yeah, we have a technical course, so you can join, and on Sunday, definitely we'll meet again. Okay.
Done, done,
So
done.
thank you everyone for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ayush.
Have a
Bye
nice.
bye. Have a good
Bye
Thank
day.
bye.
you.
Bye, guys.